The Giants do not take Shedeur Sanders. They take Jaxson Dart. And listen, I just told you guys I was a Sanders fan. A lot of people were Sanders fans. There were also people that weren't Sanders fans. And obviously, the Giants not taking Sanders lets you know that wasn't exact. There were things there that they didn't like. Look, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. We've all got preferences, right? What works for you might not work for me. For instance, in the great debate between waffles and pancakes, I'm a waffles guy. I like the crispness of a waffle. I like that you can trap your syrup in a waffle. There's nothing wrong with pancakes. I enjoy pancakes from time to time. But just for me, I prefer waffles over pancakes. And other people might not feel that way. There are people that obviously enjoy pancakes over waffles. Nothing wrong with that. When it comes to coaches in this league and how they run their offense, there are coaches, not all the time. We see with Andy Reid, he's able to adapt. When Harbaugh was the coach of the 49ers, he was able to adapt from Alex Smith to Colin Kaepernick. But for the most part, these coaches have a specific way of running things, and they want a guy in there that's going to run things the way that they want them to be run. Brian Daboll was hired because of the work he did with Josh Allen, how he was able to develop Josh Allen. Now, here's some things that we have learned about from Jaxson Dart. Jaxson Dart definitely isn't a scrub. I know some people are going into this like, oh, it's another Daniel Jones. Absolutely not. Daniel Jones played in the ACC. Jaxson Dart had some very nice success in the SEC, which is regarded to most, if not everybody, as the conference in college football. So, at Ole Miss in 2024, what was it that Jaxson Dart was able to do? Well, he threw for 4,279 passing yards. He had 29 touchdowns. Did throw 6 interceptions. A couple of those did come in the Florida game. He had a 69.3% completion rate, 10.8 yards per attempt, and a 180.7 passer rating. He also ran for 495 yards with 3 touchdowns, and he was first team All-SEC. Okay? So, he's a fearless guy. There's obviously some things that you want him to pick up on and stop doing. We saw the John Gruden quarterback camp clip where he asked for the snap count and all Dart did was clap. So right off the bat, you know, he's going to need to learn how to do snap counts. He's also got to learn to slide, and he definitely will learn to do that. But hey, let's hear from head coach Brian Daboll on what it is that he likes from Jaxson Dart.
About him to you and to you?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I think he's got a lot of qualities you look for in a good quarterback. He's tough, makes good decisions with the football, pushes the ball down the field, has athletic ability, played in a really tough conference, started there at USC as a young guy, but, did a really good job throughout this process of our meetings, board work, workouts, and the tape that we like. So look forward to working with him. I'm glad he's here, and we'll get started as soon as we can.
All right, so there's a couple interesting things that he said there. He's tough, pushes the ball down the field, athletic. Who does that remind you of, ladies and gentlemen? Josh Allen, of course, right? And that's all we've been hearing is that when is Brian Daboll going to get his Josh Allen, right? It's a copycat league, and it seems like he has identified the guy that's going to be able to do that. Now, everybody's always talking about, hey, Brian Daboll, that's all he's ever done. All we know is he's worked with Josh Allen. Not completely true. First off, in that 2022 season where the Giants made the postseason, made it to the second round of the playoffs, he was able to get production out of Daniel Jones. Obviously, it went off the rails out of that, but he was able to find ways to get success out of his offense with Daniel Jones along with Saquon Barkley. But here's some other names I'll rattle off to you. Brian Daboll was once on staff with the Green Bay Packers, worked very closely with Brett Favre, Hall of Fame quarterback. He was also the offensive coordinator at one point for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Who are the 2 quarterbacks that he worked out with there? Well, one of those guys is Tua Tagovailoa. He's dealt with some injuries, but we've seen some very, very good things from Tua while he's at Miami. The other guy that he's worked with is Jalen Hurts. The guy that just won a Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles. So he's got a little bit more of a resume than just Josh Allen. By the way, the Giants had their own Linsanity moment with undrafted rookie quarterback Tommy DeVito in 2023. How did that happen exactly? Well, Brian Daboll was the guy that got his hands on him. Now, Tommy DeVito is what he is, just like Daniel Jones was what he was. So you can only get so much out of these guys. But he's been able to show you through different quarterbacks that he is able to develop guys. Lucky for Jaxson Dart, the Giants signed Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. So we won't really have to worry too much about seeing Jaxson Dart or rushing Jaxson Dart in to a game if things go off the rails. And what you're hoping for if you're a New York Giants fan is that Dart's just able to kind of learn a bit from these guys as he learns through Brian Daboll. If he can learn those moon balls that Russell Wilson's able to throw, and just learn a little bit more about the way that these guys go about their progressions and their processes through games and things like that. Which is very different than what he had to do with Josh Allen. Josh Allen kind of had to get thrusted in there a little early because the Bills had Nathan Peterman as their starting quarterback. I think Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston are a bit better than Nathan Peterman, right? So there's already some good things to look forward to there. Let's hear a little bit more about what Brian Daboll thinks about Josh Allen.
Yeah, I'd say, look, we've had conversations all the way up to, this morning, actually, about a variety of things. And, I like the way he plays. I like his competitive fire. I like his accuracy. I like his ability, again, to push the ball down the field. His athletic ability to run with the football. I know the system that they ran down there at Ole Miss is similar to the one we had at Alabama. So there's some carryover on some of these things, but I think this guy's got better every year he's played. He's a leader. He was smart. He has the attributes that we were looking for. So excited to have him. Look forward to getting him in the room, and he's got a lot to learn. It'll be a process here with him, but he's a guy we look forward to working with.
So, guy we look forward to working with. He's got a lot to learn, as we noted earlier. Similar offense that we ran at Alabama, so carryover. Again, a lot of things that he likes there. So that's good to hear. I mean, if you're a Giants fan, you know why they hired Brian Daboll. If this is the guy that he said he wants and has identified to be his quarterback, we've got to trust him, right? So I'm going to give him a chance. I think you guys should as well.